Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I just got out of the gym and I was thinking about something in there, and I came to like this revelation. I wanted to share it with you guys because I've talked about this on the podcast before, but a large part of the reason why I even do this podcast, it's not really for you guys and trying to teach you anything. It's more for myself and talking through concepts or frameworks or ideas or telling stories about my life, I come to a better understanding, a better appreciation for what I believe and what I value in this world. And so in a lot of ways, this is kind of like a journal, like a video journal for me. And it just so happens that I think a lot of the things that I struggle with, a lot of the lessons that I'm learning in my life or have learned and then have to relearn in some cases, I think they can also be of benefit and value to you. So by opening up the journal so that you can read it alongside of me, hopefully you can maybe learn from my mistakes, or if you're going through the same shit that I am going through or have gone through, you can just feel maybe a little bit less alone in that journey, because entrepreneurship is hard. It's a hard journey, and nothing really prepares you for it except for to do it, even when you've done it multiple times. So one of the things I'm realizing is, I've built and exited and then built again multiple businesses, and each time is hard. Each time getting that flywheel going, and the struggles, the insecurities, all the same things, they keep cropping up. And so as you play the game, the monsters just get stronger, but they never really stop. There is no like final end boss that you beat and then you just return to the beginning, and now it's just a matter of rating for XP and loot. And that doesn't happen like that. Just the bosses get harder, the levels get harder, and you improve as you go. And one of the things I was thinking about today is the fact that I've historically very much struggled with the feeling that I don't work very hard. And, I've talked about this in other videos in the past of how I'm an inherently lazy person, or at least that's how I feel. I feel like a lazy person, but the reality is I'm probably not lazy. It's not quite the right terminology for what I'm experiencing. It's more that I can produce an extraordinary amount of work that for me, it doesn't feel like work. But the things that do feel like work, I have a really hard time self-motivating myself to do those things. And so what that does then is, because the things that I'm really good at and enjoy, like writing or making a video like this, they don't feel like work to me. I therefore don't feel, when I look back on my day sometimes, like I did anything meaningful, like I did meaningful work, because the things, they felt light. And this might not feel super relatable depending on where you are in your journey, and it might be like when you're doing the things that you love and that you're competent and skilled at, like they don't feel hard, and so part of you starts to think, well, if it's not hard, then it's not actually work. And so I was thinking about this today because I've really struggled over the last couple of months as we've ramped up the production of the YouTube channel, the different podcasts. I'm writing another book. I'm putting together a lot of trainings for the Beyond the Apex community. And that stuff doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. It feels like the act of not always fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, writing sucks. I love having written. I don't love writing. But at the end of it, because I love that feeling of having written or having created something so much, it overlays the feeling of hard work that it had to get to create the thing. And so I get down on myself because I'm like, I'm not really doing any work. I'm not doing things that feel heavy. Like when I think about the business in terms of like getting on customer calls and sales, or doing fulfillment, or doing the financial auditing, like those things feel heavy. They feel like work. And when I get done with them, I feel like I have been productive because I feel exhausted, and I feel like, oh, I made myself do the hard thing. But when the hard thing, or the thing that other people look at what you do and they think that's hard, that's impossible, like doing a video like this is very hard for some people. For me, it's not that hard. I don't feel the same sense of reward at the end of the day of like, oh, I've contributed meaningfully. And I don't know if this is resonating, if this is landing, but this is something that I'm really struggling with, because I find myself then almost sabotaging myself. One, in like one of two ways it really manifests itself. One, I either stop doing those things, like stop doing less videos or stop writing, and I start taking on more of those other tasks that I've intentionally tried to craft out of my life because I know I suck at them and I don't enjoy them. I start intentionally doing those things I don't enjoy so that I can feel like I'm working, like I'm being a meaningful, producing member of the team. And then I stop doing the things that only I can do, the things that inherently don't feel super hard. And so that's the first way is I sabotage it. The second way is that I start to resent the work that I'm doing or having like negative feelings towards doing a podcast. Like I'm like, oh, I should focus on this other thing. I should answer those emails first because this is fun and play and enjoyable. Whereas like the work needs to get done, right? And so I start to create this negative connotation associated with the work. And all this is to say is that if you do it right, if you build your business correctly, you're going to work your way out of the areas that you hate. You're going to work your way into the things that you love doing. And my experience has been that stuff that you love doing, it doesn't feel like work in a lot of cases. And so you have to, I don't know, like reframe it in your own mind in a way that you can approach your work and recognize like this is easy and fun. And it is work, and I am being a meaningful, productive member of the team and contributing in a way that only I can do. And I don't know if any of that landed, but this is something that I've been thinking about. And when I was lifting today in the gym, it really just started to click for me. Like that's one of the things that I'm struggling with. I've never been able to articulate it before of like, why do I feel unproductive? Why do I feel inherently lazy? Why do I feel at so many different points in my life and my day, even right now, like I'm not meaningfully contributing to the team's success? And it's because I think so much of what I get to spend my time on these days is the result of intentionally crafting a life by design where I get to focus only on the things that I'm inherently good at and that I inherently enjoy and find fulfillment in. And when you do that, the work doesn't feel like what most people think of as work. And I think I'm still, even after all of these years, still wrestling with that. So I hope this brings you a little bit of value. If so, do me a favor, drop a comment. Let me know, like, have you gone through a similar evolution? Is this something that you're struggling with right now? Is this something that is so far out of left field? You're like, I can't even relate to this. Like, try again next time, Anthony. I don't get it. Let me know in the comments. Drop a review. Truly, it means the world when you guys reach out and you communicate and we have a relationship. It means the world. Also, by the way, come find me on Instagram and give me a follow there. I'm the Anthony Vicino. The reason for that is I'm doing weekly AMAs on there, and I only announce when I'm going to go live, like that morning. It just kind of depends on how I feel. So if you want to come and join and actually be in dialogue and not just monologue, I would encourage you to come find me on Instagram at the Anthony Vicino, and let's have a chat. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, but until then, stay hyper focused, my friend.